Sir, you are mute.
Yeah, I'll take up question number 1, the 7th part. These are all related. The problems which I'm going to cover today are all related to properties. Here, a to b f of x dx is what? From the properties, it is if you invert the limits, the sign would change. So it is the second part. Next, I come to question number 1, the 8th part. 2 to 7, you have root x upon root x plus root 9 minus x. Now, if you observe here, 2 plus 7 is 9. If I replace x with 9 minus x and 9 minus x with x, the denominator remains the same. I repeat it. 2 plus 7 is 9. If I replace x with 9 minus x, the denominator would remain the same. X with 9 minus x and 9 minus x with x. The denominator would remain the same. This would become 9 minus x. When the denominator is same, I can add it and club it. Here I'm using which property? A to b f of x dx is same as replace the x part with a plus b minus x. So here instead of this I would be getting, this is 2 plus 7, so 9 minus x. Here I'll be getting 9 minus x and this would be root of x. So from 1 and 2, if you see the denominator is the same, when you add it, you get I plus I equal to 2 to 7 root x plus root 9 minus x divided by root x plus root 9 minus x, and this gets cancelled. It would be integration of 1, 2i equal to integration of 1, that is x, between 2 and 7. So 2i is 7 minus 2. In such case, the I value would be upper limit minus lower limit upon 2. So I would be 7 minus 2 upon 2. So it is 5 by 2. Next, question number 9, it would be I equal to minus 9 to 9 x cube dx upon 4 minus x square. I had told you whenever the lower limit and the upper limits are the same, you need to first check whether the function is even or odd. How do you check whether the function is even or odd? You just need to replace x with minus x. Here function is x cube upon 4 minus x square. So what is f of minus x? Replace x with minus x. You get minus x the whole cube upon 4 minus x the whole square, minus x the whole cube. Take minus out, this would be x cube. 4 minus, this would be x square. So you would get minus of x cube upon 4 minus x square. That is, I can say it is minus of f of x. F of minus x is minus of f of x. And this means this is odd function. That is, function is odd. And when the function is odd, we say I is 0. This is miscellaneous question number 1, the 10th part. This is question number 2, the 8th part. This is question number 1, the 8th part. Next, come to question number 2. Here, 11th part. I is minus 7 to 7 x cube upon x squared plus 7 dx. Now, again, the lower and the upper limits are the same. I'll say this is function of x. When I take f of minus x, this would be minus x the whole cube upon minus x the whole square plus 7. This would be minus of x cube upon minus x square is x square plus 7. So that is, this is function of x, but with a minus sign. Therefore, function is odd or I is 0. This should have been. Is someone's mic open by any chance? Is someone's mic open by any chance? Just your mic is open. Question number 3, fourth part, is where you have a to b f of x dx. It is equal to a to b f of lower limit plus upper limit minus x dx. So this formula is correct. Then fifth one, this should have been 0 to 2a. First of all, a to 2a is not right. Next, this should have been this should have been 2a minus x. So there is a mistake here and here. Sixth one, x dx upon x square plus 7 is equal to what? Now, if you observe here, again, lower limit and upper limits are the same. So f of x is x upon x square plus 7. When I replace x with minus x, I'll get minus x upon minus x the whole square. That would be x square itself plus 7. So I would be getting minus of x upon x square plus 7. Therefore, we can say it is minus of f of x. Therefore, function is odd and therefore I is 0. So this 2 is wrong. The one which is given is false. Next, come to the 3-mark questions. Your I'll say that is question number 4, 8th part. here. If you see 1 plus 3 is 4. If I replace x with 4 minus x, this would be 4 minus x plus 5, that is 9 minus x. And here when I replace it with 4 minus x, I'll get 5 plus x. That means the denominator gets interchanged. So I have to use this property. That is a to b of f of x dx is same as a to b as the limit. X should be replaced with lower limit plus upper limit minus x. Now that means I here would be 1 to 3. Instead of this is cube root of x would be 1 plus 3, 4 minus x plus 5, 4 minus x plus 5. Here that is 9 minus x. Then here it would be 4 minus x plus 5. This would be 9 minus 4 minus x. So this would give you 1 to 3. This is cube root of 9 minus x. This is cube root of 9 minus x plus cube root of 5 plus x. So from 1 and 2, when I add it, I get I plus I equal to 1 to 3. You take that down here, that is cube root of x plus 5 plus this is cube root of 9 minus x divided by cube root of 9 minus x plus cube root of 5 plus x. These two get cancelled. You get 1 dx, that is x. It is always lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. The lower limit minus upper limit divided by 2. So this would be 2i equal to x between 1 and 3. So this is 3 minus 1, that is 2. And I would be 2 upon 2, which is 1. Lower limit minus upper limit upon 2. Now, this is exercise 6.2, question number 3. This is question number 3 of miscellaneous. Question number 5, sub question 5. This has been modified. I think this has also been modified. Yes, these two have been modified. This one you can refer to page number 148. Page number 148, properties, the 7th one. And this one, page number 148, properties, the 6th one. So they have given it from there. And x upon x square plus 7. I'm not able to locate this. You can search for it later on. Yeah, I'm not able to locate it. Now, The next one is question number 4 itself. Ninth part, I equal to 1 to 2. This is root x upon root 3 minus x plus root x dx. As I said, 1 plus 2 is 3 minus x. So 3 minus x can be replaced with root x here, and x can be replaced with 3 minus x. When you add it, you get 2i equal to 1 to 2, 1 dx. Therefore, answer would be 2 minus 1 upon 2. If you have followed it, well and good. Otherwise, you have to use the property a to b f of x dx. That is a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. Therefore, I would be equal to, I'll replace this x with 3 minus x here. I'll replace 3 minus x with x here. And this would be 3 minus x. When I add 1 and 2, I'll get 2i equal to 1 to 2 root x plus root 3 minus x. And here I'll get root x plus root 3 minus x. These two get cancelled. I get 1 dx, that is x between 1 and 2. So 2i would be 2 minus 1. Therefore, I would be half. This is same as exercise 6.2, question number 5. Next one, question number 4, the 10th part would be I equal to 0 to 1 log of 1 by x minus 1 dx. Now here, I can write this as 0 to 1 log of 1 minus x upon x dx. Now using the property, I can say 0 to a f of x dx is same as 0 to a if I replace x with upper limit minus x. So here I can replace x with 1 minus x and 1 minus x with x. So this I would remain the same when I use this property. I'll get 0 to 1. I'll get log. In place of 1 minus x, I'll get x. And in place of x, I'll get 1 minus x. So these two are same. Now if you observe here, when I take the reciprocal within log, I'll get a minus sign outside. When I take reciprocal within log, I take minus sign outside. Because remember, log of a by b is same as minus log of b by a. Only for log. Therefore, I get minus here. That means this is same as minus of this. So from 1 and 2, I can say I equal to, this is I itself. So from 1 and 2, I can say I equal to minus I. And therefore, I can say 2i equal to 0. I can say I equal to 0. Followed? This is this is exercise 6.2, question number 7.
So can we add here?
Can we add here? Yes, you can.
Normal addition.
Yes, I plus I would be this minus this. So this would get cancelled and you'll get 0.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether I did it by that method when I taught you for the first time. You can always see the solution for the same. One topic at a time, I'll be putting it up on the website. So after I finish this topic, definite integration and application of definite integration, I'll make 6 videos and I'll put it up on the web server so you can access it. Next, come to question number 5, the 6th part. I equal to 0 to a x square into a minus x raised to 3 by 2 dx. Now, if you remember, I had told you, whenever you get upper limit minus x raised to some fraction, you always have to apply this property 0 to a f of x dx. So what is the benefit of that property? When you use that property, this a minus x would become x and this would become a minus x, and then you can solve it easily. This a minus x would become x and this would become a minus x. Here you cannot multiply these two because the powers are different. But when this becomes x and this becomes a minus x, after expanding you can multiply it. So here you cannot multiply it because the powers are different, but when you apply the property, you would be able to multiply it. So here, when you apply the property 0 to a f of x dx is 0 to a f of a minus x dx. So x can be replaced with a minus x and a minus x can be replaced with x. Now this would be a square minus 2ax plus x square into x raised to 3 by 2. When I multiply it inside, I'll get 0 to a square x raised to 3 by 2 minus 2a into x raised to 3 by 2 plus x square into x raised to 3 by 2. So here, this would be a square into x raised to 3 by 2 dx between 0 and a, 2a outside, x raised to 1 plus 3 by 2 is 5 by 2, 0 to a, then plus, this is 2 plus 3 by 2, so that is 7 by 2, so 0 to a, x raised to 7 by 2 dx. Now this would be a square x raised to 3 by 2 is 3 by 2 plus 1 5 by 2 upon 5 by 2. This would be 2a x raised to 7 by 2 upon 7 by 2, and this would be x raised to 9 by 2 upon 9 by 2 between 0 and a. Now that would give you 2 upon 5 a square into x raised to 5 by 2 minus 4 upon 7a into x raised to 7 by 2 plus 2 upon 9 into x raised to 9 by 2 between 0 and a. So this would be, when you take it inside, it would be 2 by 5 a square into a raised to 5 by 2 minus 4 by 7 a into a raised to 7 by 2 plus 2 by 9 into a raised to 9 by 2. So this would be 2 by 5 into a raised to 2 plus 5 by 2 is 4 plus 5 9 by 2 minus 4 by 7 into a raised to 9 by 2 plus 2 by 9 into a raised to 9 by 2 when you apply the limit. So this would become a raised to 9 by 2 outside. So this would be 1 by 5 minus 2 by 7 plus 1 by 9. This is 2 a raised to 9 by 2. When I take the LCM, it is 5, 7, 35, 9, 315. This would be 7 into 9, 63. This would be 5 into 9, 45 into 2, 90. This would be 35. This would give me 63 plus 35, 98 minus 90 is 8. So this is 9 by 2. This is 8 and this is 315. So this would give me 16a raised to 9 by 2 by 315. In fact, this question, the previous question which I did, that log question is also activity question number 3. The log question is happens to be Activity question number 3. So you can always refer to that. Activity question number 3. And this one, 0 to A, this is exercise 6.2, question number 2. Next one. 0 to 1, x into 1 minus x raised to 5 dx. Now, if you observe here, this is upper limit minus x raised to some higher power. Again, I'll take this as 1 minus x, this would be x, and then I'll multiply. So, this would be what? When I apply the property 0 to a f of x dx would be equal to 0 to a f of a minus x dx. So, this would become I equal to 0 to 1. This is 1 minus x, and this is 1 minus x, that is x raised to 5 dx. So this would be 0 to 1, x raised to 5 here minus x raised to 6 here. I would be equal to, when you take separate, you get x raised to 6 by 6. This is x raised to 7 by 7, and divide, this is 1 0. When I take 1 first, 1 by 6 minus 1 by 7, and then 0. So I is 7 minus 6, 1 upon 42. This is question number 8 of exercise 6.2. How do I realize whether this property has to be applied? This is upper limit minus x raised to higher power. When you have upper limit minus x raised to higher power or upper limit minus x raised to fraction, you may use this property. It would ease up the sums. Coming to activity second question. I equal to 2 to 5 root x upon root x plus root 9 minus x dx. Sorry, 7 minus x. Again, if you see 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 minus x, this would become x. This would become 7 minus x. When you add it, they get cancelled. 5 minus 2 by 2. That is 3 by 2 is the answer. So apply the property a to b f of x dx equal to a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. This would be I equal to 2 to 5. This would be root of 2 plus 5, 7 minus x. Here x would be replaced with 7 minus x, and 7 minus x would be replaced with x. From 1 and 2, when you add the 2, you get 2i equal to 2 to 5 root x plus root 7 minus x upon root x plus root 7 minus x. These two get cancelled. 2i equal to integration of 1 is x. Between 2 and 5, 2i equal to 5 minus 2, that is 3. Therefore, I is 3 by 2. this is also from this is question number 4 of exercise 6.2. Exercise 6.2, question number 4. Now, we'll move on to application of integration, application of definite integration. Next. Now, as far as application of definite integration is concerned, I told you about 2-3 formulae to be remembered. The first one I said is, if you remember, if there is a curve and you need the area between the curve and the x-axis, you need to integrate with respect to x dx. If it is with respect to the curve and the y-axis, you need to integrate with respect to y. So I told you here, if you need to find the area between this curve, I'll say this is this way, this curve and the y-axis, then you will integrate with respect to y. Now, if it is dx over here, take y dx. If it is dy over here, take x dy. That would give you the area. I had told you about the strips, if you remember, the length and the breadth. When you multiply it, you can divide this region into multiple regions of small rectangles with area y into dx, and you integrate it from this end to this end. Now, even if you don't remember it by heart this way, if it is between the curve and the x-axis, dx. If it is between the curve and the y-axis, dy. If it is dy, write x over here. If it is dx, write y over here. Now, here, this line is parallel to the y-axis, so it would be x equal to a. Here, x equal to b. Now, you have to integrate between x equal to a and x equal to b. So this is the area. And here, if you have to integrate between these two lines. This is parallel to the x-axis, so it would be y equal to a, y equal to b. Area would be equal to x dy. Now, remember, if it is dx, line parallel to y-axis between these two lines, curve and the x-axis. And if it is y-axis, the lines are parallel to x-axis. So therefore, these two lines would be in the form of y equal to a and y equal to b. I told you if the curve lies below the x-axis, then the answer would be the same, but you have to put it within mod because you'll get a negative answer, but the area cannot be negative. So it would be positive itself. It doesn't matter when the curve goes to the left-hand side of the y-axis. Having said this, we start with the sums pertaining to application of definite integration. Now here, first question, first part. Area of the region bounded by y equal to x cube. There is a curve y equal to x cube. There are two lines, x equal to 1, that means parallel to y-axis, x equal to 4. And you have to find the area between these two. How do you find the area between these two? Area would be equal to, I told you, curve and the x-axis. So right here, dx and y. Then this lies between x equal to 1, x equal to 4. So this would be 1 to 4 x cube and dx. It is x raised to 4 upon 4 between 1 and 4. Take 1 upon 4 out. This would be 4 raised to 4 minus 1 raised to 4. This is 1 upon 4. This would be 4 raised to 4 is 16, 256, 255 upon 4. Remember, this would always be in square units. I hope you have followed what I have done over here. Next, using definite integration, area of circle is what? Now, here, when I'm speaking about area of circle, let area of circle, they should have given some radius here. They have made some mistake here. Here, suppose this is a comma 0. Suppose the radius is a, then this is a comma 0. This is 0 comma a. This is 0 comma minus a. This is minus a comma 0. Now what I'll do is I'll find one area and I'll multiply it with 4, or I'll find two areas and multiply it with 2. Now you need to remember that you are considering the curve, the area between the x-axis, and if you are considering the area between x-axis, then you have to limit it by two lines, one parallel to this x or y-axis. Here the other one would be the y-axis itself, between these two lines. Are you following what I'm saying? So your area would be first right here, this is curve and the x-axis, so dx. Then since it is curve and x-axis, you need lines in terms of x itself. This would be y dx. X would be, this line is x equal to 0 because it is the y-axis, and this line is x equal to a. Now this y here, if you observe, the equation of the circle would always be x square plus y square equal to a square if it is in this form. So y is root, y square is a square minus x square, or y is root of a square minus x square. Now replace this with root of a square minus x square dx. If you apply the property over here, this would be x by 2 root a square minus x square minus a square by 2 sine inverse x by a plus c. There won't be a c term here because this is definite integration between 0 and a. I told you this formula, sine inverse x by a, usually you don't have it, but just remember that in case you want to apply this formula, here in this case they haven't given you the formula as such, you will have to by heart it, root a square minus x square. Now this would be, and it is very easy to derive it, just multiply it with 1, you will get the value. I am not very sure about the sign, is it minus or plus? I think it is minus itself, else I'll have to derive it. It would be root a square minus x square integration of 1 minus integration of 1 into derivative of root a square minus x square. So this would be root a square minus x square into x minus integration of x. This is 2 root a square minus x square. This would be minus 2x. So this would be x into root a square minus x square. This would be plus x square upon root a square minus x square to make it. This would be a square minus x square. This would be a square minus a square minus x square. So this would be x root a square minus x square plus a square out dx upon root x square minus, so this would be sine inverse x by, this would be plus. Okay, so here this would be sine inverse x by a, and this would be minus I, which goes to the other side. It becomes 2i, and therefore you get I upon 2. So it would be plus here. Now x square, x by 2 root a square minus x square plus a square by 2 sine inverse x by a. Now when I apply the upper limit, I get a by 2. When I put a over here, it becomes 0 plus a square by 2. This is sine inverse a by a. So it is 1. And then when I put 0, this would be minus this would be a square by 2 into, I made any mistake, x by 2. Oh, I have to multiply it with 4 also, because this is the area of one part. I'll have to multiply it with 4. So this would be 4 here, x upon 2 root of a square minus x square. And this would be a square upon 2 sine inverse x by a. This would be pi. So this would be 4a square by 2 sine inverse 1. Sine of which value is 1? It is pi by 2. So it is pi a square. Yes. Area of circle is pi r square. So this would be pi a square when the radius is a. Now, as far as the answer goes over here, they should have given radius is 4. If they would have mentioned radius is 4, I would have taken 4 comma 0. This would have been 0 to 4, and I would have got this as pi into 4 square. So just make this correction. It should be when when radius of circle is 4. When radius of circle is 4. If they say radius of circle is 2, then it should be 4 pi. If it is radius of circle is 4, then you will get 16 pi as the answer. Now coming to these two questions. Does anyone have a doubt in this particular question? Do you want me to repeat it by any chance? Anyone? I'm not able to locate this. This is of the type, but I'm not able to locate the exact type of sum. This should be miscellaneous exercise 7. Question number 1, the 5th part. And I cannot find this sum x cube anywhere. X cube I'm not able to find anywhere. You can just search for it. Now, coming to the next question. I hope everyone has followed this. If anyone wants me to repeat it, just let me know. Yeah, say.
Sir, in that case, it is a and 0, no? So we didn't substitute 0 there.
0, when you substitute 0, minus of 0 upon 2, and then here also you'll get 0 itself.
So sine inverse of 0, what is sine inverse of 0?
Which value of sine is 0? It is 0 itself.
Okay.
And sine inverse of 1. Which value of sine is 1? It is 90 degree. 90 degree is pi by 2. You remember this?
Yes, sir.
Pi is 180 degree.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is 90 degree. 90 degree means pi by 2. Followed? Pi is 180 degree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, any other clarification? Does anyone else want any other clarification? Now, if you would have taken it with respect to y-axis, then you could have taken x dy, and you could have taken 4 times, and then you could have taken this line and this line. Or else, here the other method would have been minus a to a, and then you could have taken double of it to find the total area. Third question. Area of the region bounded by x equal to y square, positive y-axis, and lines y equal to 1 and y equal to 3. So x equal to y square. Now this is a parabola. How do you know this is a parabola? Because you have only one variable in terms of square. When only one variable is square, it is a parabola. Second thing, remember when y is square, it is symmetrical about x axis. When x is square, it is symmetrical about y axis. So y square equal to x means it is symmetrical about the x axis. Y square equal to x, y square, so symmetrical about x axis, and this is positive, so symmetrical about positive x axis. Followed. Now here this is y equal to 0 because it is, sorry, this is x equal to 0 because it is y axis. They have said y equal to 1, positive y axis, y equal to 1 and y equal to 3. They have made some mistake here. It should have been when, yeah, y equal to x axis, yeah, sorry, y equal to 1 and y equal to 3. So this is y equal to 1, this is y equal to 3. And they have asked you area between the curve and the y axis. Followed, these two lines are parallel to the x axis, so it is y equal to 1 and y equal to 3. Now, area would be equal to, first of all, this is curve and the y-axis. So dy here and this is x. Had it been curve and the y-axis, you would have written y and dx. Now between, this is dy. So between y equal to 1 and y equal to 3. Now this would be 1 to 3. What is x dy? X would be root x. So it would be y square and dy here. X you replace it with y because you need it in terms of y over here. So this would be y cube by 3, and between 1 and 3. You take 1 upon 3 out, this is 3 cube minus 1 cube. So it is 27 minus 1, this is 26 by 3. Area would always be in square units. I don't know where they have given this sum from. You'll have to search later on. It may be from the solved example or it may be from the miscellaneous part.
Miscellaneous first, Roman number first question.
Oh yes, yes. This is miscellaneous. Question 1, the first part, right? And have you located even the other sum, the one which I had given earlier, which was that? That is y equal to x cube. I couldn't locate that. Y equal to x cube. Anyway, doesn't matter. Your area of the region bounded by the curve x square equal to 8y. When I say x square equal to 8y, positive y-axis, and y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. First of all, only one of the variable is square, so it is parabolic. Once you know it is parabolic, you need to decide whether it is symmetric on the x-axis or on the y-axis. Here, x square equal to 8y, x square, so symmetric about the y-axis. Positive or negative? It is symmetric about the positive x-axis, positive y-axis, because this is positive. So this is how the curve would appear. Parabolic. X square equal to 8y. Now, lines y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. Y equal to 4 parallel to x-axis, y equal to 9 parallel to x-axis. Now, you need to find the area between the curve and the x-axis, positive, y-axis and this one. Now,
So,
yeah, say.
so can you please explain that x square is equal to 8y? How did you understand it is this type of parabola?
Have you followed that it is a parabola?
Yes, sir.
How did you follow that?
Because it is one is square and the other one is
Yes. So you have
one.
figured that out. Now x square means it is symmetrical about
X-axis.
no y-axis, and y square means it is symmetrical about
Okay.
followed.
Yes.
Then this is positive. It means it is positive y-axis.
So in the previous sum, it was y square, so it is symmetrical about the x-axis.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Hold on. Yeah. So here this is y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. Now the positive y-axis and y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. Now had they not mentioned this, we would have considered the entire area from here to here. But they have mentioned positive y-axis and y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. That means they need only this area. Followed? So here area, first of all, I want the area between the curve and the y-axis. So I'll write here y-axis dy and here x dy. This would give me the curve and the y-axis. Remember here, they haven't asked me x square equal to 8y, y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. In that case, I would have had to find double of this. Here they have asked y-axis and these two lines. Now, this is y equal to 4 and this is y equal to 9. Don't double it because they haven't asked this area. Next, this is x. Now convert this to y. X square is 8y. So x is root of 8y. So this would be 4 to 9. This is root of 8y dy. Root of 8 comes out. This is root of y. So y raised to half. Y raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. And between 4 and 9. So this would be 2 upon 3 root 8. And this would be root 9. Sorry, 9 raised to 3 by 2 minus 4 raised to 3 by 2. Now 9 is 3 square. So this would be 2 root 8 upon 3. This is 4. So take it out. 4 root 2 upon 3. And this would be 3 square raised to 3 by 2 minus 2 square raised to 3 by 2. This is 27 minus 8, which is 19. So 4 root 2 upon 3 into 19. 76 upon 3 root 2. Followed? 76 root 2 upon 3 square units. Yes. Can anyone locate this for me? Anyone there who can locate this for me? You search for it later. Question number 5. Area of region bounded by y square equal to 16x, x equal to 1, x equal to 4, and x-axis lying in first quadrant. Now y square equal to 16x. This is a curve. This is which type of a curve? Mega? Which type of a
The
curve?
parabolic.
Parabolic. How do you know it is parabolic?
Because one is square, other is linear.
Right. Which axis is it symmetrical about?
The y-axis.
What? It is
So
y
it-
square.
So the x-axis.
X-axis. Only when it is on the x-axis, you will get two values of y. That is y square. And it is positive. So it is y square equal to 16x. Between x equal to 1, that is a parallel to y-axis, and x equal to 4. And first quadrant only. Now area is equal to your y dx. First of all, x curve and the x-axis. So y dx. Then it is between x equal to 1 and x equal to 4. So here 1 to 4. This is 60. Y square is 16x. So this is 4 root x dx. 4 outside. Root x is x raised to half, x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 between 1 and 4. So it is 8 by 3 and this is 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 1 raised to 3 by 2. This would be 8 by 3. This is 2 square raised to 3 by 2 minus 1. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. 8 minus 1 is 7. 56 by 3. Next. All are in square units, remember, when they are referred to area. X equal to, this should have been x equal to y raised to 4, y equal to 1, y equal to 5, and y axis in first quadrant. Now, x equal to y raised to 4, that means it is x equal to y raised to okay, here this would be y raised to 4. Again, it's a curve which is not parabolic, but it is somewhere close to a parabola. You can say it appears just like a parabola. Now, this is between y equal to 1 and y equal to 5. First of all, when I put x as 0, I get y as 0. When I put x as minus 1, I'll get y raised to 4 as minus 1. This is not possible in it is not possible to get x as minus 1 here because y raised to 4 would be minus 1. Fourth root of minus 1 cannot be y value. So it lies in the first and the second quadrant. So it lies somewhere here. Now when I put x equal to 1, y would be 1 raised to 1 upon 4. It would be plus 1 or minus 1, somewhere close to a parabola, but not exactly parabolic. It is somewhere close to a parabola itself. For the time being, I am drawing this figure this way. This is x equal to y raised to 4. As you go on putting the values of x, you will get multiple values of y. Now, here y equal to 1 and y equal to 5. This is y equal to 1. This is y equal to 5. Now here, when I consider y equal to 1 and y equal to 5, this is the area and the y axis. What? Sorry, y equal to 1 and y equal to 5. It should be parallel to the x axis. Y equal to 1 and y equal to 5. It should be parallel to the x axis, and this area is what we are concerned about. Now here, since you have to find the area between the curve and the y axis, write dy over here, write x over here. This is y equal to 1 to 5, between which you have to integrate. It is only in the first quadrant, so you need to integrate only this much part, and it is multiplied by 1 itself. You don't need to multiply it with any other number. Here, this would be x dy, so x would be y raised to 4. This is dy. This is y raised to 5 upon 5 between 1 and 5. So this would be 1 upon 5 outside. This would be 5 raised to 5 minus 1 raised to 5. This is 1 upon 5. 3125 minus 1. So it is 3124 square units. Not sure which question number this is. You can search for it. But remember, this is actually not parabolic. It has more to it. This is a rough figure. Next. area of region bounded by parabola y square equal to 25x and line x equal to 5. When I say y square equal to 25x, it is a parabola because only one of the variable is square here. Now it is symmetrical about the x axis because y square is what you have, and this is 25x, so positive x axis. This is the figure y square equal to 25x. Now it is between the curve and the line x equal to 5. X equal to 5 means parallel to the y axis. So this is the area that they have asked you for. Curve and the line x equal to 5. So that means you'll have to find this entire area. So you'll have to find first this area and then multiply with 2. How do you do that? Area, when you find area between the curve and the x axis, you write here dx. Then here you write y. And this is between x equal to 0 and x equal to 1. Sorry, x equal to 0 and x equal to 5. So x equal to 0 to 5. Now this would give me the area between the curve and the x-axis between this line and this line. But I want the total area between the curve and this line. So I'll have to double it. Now that would give me 2 times 0 to 5. This is y dx. Y is y square is 25x. So y is root of 25 into root of x. So 5 root x dx. So that would give me 10. Root x is x raised to half. That would give me x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2 between 0 and 5. When I take it up, this becomes 20 by 3. When I write this as 5 raised to 3 by 2 minus 0, I get 20 by 3. This is 5 into root 5. So this would be 100 root 5 upon 3. You'll have to search for these sums. I think these are not from the exercise, or maybe they have twisted the exercise sums a bit. Question number 1b, y square equal to 4ax is a standard form of parabola when curve lies on the x-axis. Yes, curve lies on the x-axis when y square equal to 4ax. It is a standard form of parabola. So this is correct. Then the next one, standard form of parabola when curve lies on the positive y-axis. If curve lies on the positive, this is when curve lies on the x-axis, y square. Then you have x over here, and standard parabola would have 4ax. Here, similarly, if curve lies on the positive y-axis, then it would be symmetrical. Standard means vertex is at origin. First of all, it is symmetrical about y-axis. So write here x square. Then since it is symmetrical about y-axis, you write here y. This would be 4by. You can write even 4ay, it doesn't matter, but 4by or 4ay, it is the same. Now, once you have written it, if it is on the positive y-axis plus, if it is on the negative y-axis minus. So the second one is wrong. It should have been 4by, not minus 4by. The area of portion lying below the x-axis is negative. Actually, the area is never negative. It turns out to be negative. When you calculate it, it becomes negative. The answer is negative. I'm not sure what type of answer they are expecting. The area of the portion lying below the x-axis is negative. Yes, the answer is negative, but you don't take it as negative. You consider it to be positive itself. So just check the answer given behind. When you get the sheet along with the PDF. In the PDF, they have given the answer. So check the third one. Remember, area is never negative. Area is always positive. But when you calculate it, it would be negative when it is below the x-axis. Now, I'm not sure what they meant by it. Here. Fourth one. Area bounded by curve. When the curve lies on both sides of the x-axis. That means, in short, they are saying from A to B, it lies above the x-axis. B to C, it lies below the x-axis. So what we'll do is, we'll find f of x dx between A and B. This can be taken within mod or without mod, doesn't matter. Plus, for this area, we'll take B to C f of x dx we'll put this within mod. We have to take this within mod. Now with or without mod, this would be the same. A to B f of x dx plus B to C f of x dx. This is correct. Then it would be? No, but the function may be different. If the functions are the same, then it would be A to C f of x dx. But if the functions are different, it would remain like this.
Sir,
Yeah, say.
then it should become g of x, no?
Yeah, this should have been ideally g of x, but they have given f of x, I guess. They have given f of x, right? It should have been two functions. Now you retain it as it is, because if they are equal, even then this is also valid. It would also be A to C f of x dx.
Okay.
Are you following it?
Yes.
Yeah, the equation of area of the circle. Now area of the circle, remember, for a circle is symmetric about x-axis. Circle is symmetric about x-axis. It is also symmetric about y-axis. Remember this. Now here, if radius is a, this would be a comma 0. This would be minus a comma 0. This cannot be b. Radius would remain the same. This would be 0 comma a and this would be 0 comma minus a. Listen very carefully. It is symmetrical about x-axis, so y square. It is symmetrical about y-axis, so x square is equal to, I'll write 1 over here with a plus sign. Now x-axis has two intercepts, a and minus a. So upon a square. Y-axis also has two intercepts, both are same. So it would be a square itself. It won't be b square. Followed? This would be b and if this would have been b and minus b, I would have written b square here. This is a and minus a, so this would also be a square. So this is wrong. The fifth question is wrong. It is not b, it is a. Has everyone followed this? Now next one, the equation of the ellipse is what? Ellipse x shaped. I told you if this is a comma 0, this is 0 minus a comma 0, this would be 0 comma b and this would be 0 comma minus b. Remember this? These two are different. Now remember, this is symmetrical about the x axis, so I'll write y square. This is symmetrical about the y axis, so I'll write x square. I'll write equal to 1 with a plus sign over here. Now upon x square, this is minus a and a, so a square. This is y square, b and minus b, so this would be b square. Remember this. So therefore question 6 is false. The area of the curve between y equal to f of x and y equal to g of x and x axis is what? Now suppose this is one curve, this is another curve, and we want the area of the shaded region bounded by the two curves and the x axis. Bounded by two curves and the x axis. Suppose I need this one. Now, if I want the area bounded by the two curves, it is this. Area bounded by the curves and the x axis. Suppose I say A to B. Y equal to f of x, y equal to g of x, and the x-axis. Say I have two lines, y equal to x plus 2 and I have y equal to x square. So how does it matter y equal to x square? Area bounded by the curve. See, when I say area bounded between them, this is the region. I'll have to find this area and then subtract this area to get the bounded area. But if I'm supposed to find this, it should be this itself. So it should be A to B f of x dx minus, it should have been minus g of x. See, if there are two curves here, and I say there are two lines here, x equal to A and x equal to B. Now I want the area bounded by these two. Then this is suppose f of x and this is suppose g of x. Integration of g of x between this and this would give me this region. Integration of f of x between this and this would give me this region. If I want this region, I'll subtract f of x, g of x from f of x. I'll find f of x dx between a and b, and I'll subtract g of x from it. Same limit. Within mod, because it can be above or below the x-axis. So this one is also correct. I believe this should have been minus. Anyway, addition won't be possible, because even in case you want this, it would be only g of x. It wouldn't have been f of x plus g of x. It would be only g of x then in that case. So it should have been minus.
Sir,
Yeah, see.
how did you find that one is symmetrical to x-axis and one is symmetrical to y-axis?
No, I didn't. I just took rough figures. Say any figure. It doesn't matter. Even if you take the same type of figure with one over here, then also you'll get the same.
Okay.
Follow what I'm saying? So here, suppose I say these two figures are such that one is above the other and cuts the other one. Then also, when you want to find the bounded region, you'll have to subtract one from the other. Is it possible to check the answer for the seventh one? I believe it should be minus. If it is this region which they are considering, if it is this region, you need only g of x. It should be minus itself. I haven't followed that question properly, whether it is between the two curves or between the two curves and the x-axis. Even then, this would be the region. This is minus itself. One function minus the other function. It may be g of x minus f of x or f of x minus g of x. The answer is given in the PDF. If you turn towards the end, they would have mentioned whether it is true or false. If it is false, then this is the answer. If it is true, then let me know. Here, C, the area bounded by the parabola x square equal to 9y. When I say x square equal to 9y, it means it is symmetrical about the x square equal to 9y, x square. So it is symmetrical about the y-axis and positive y-axis. So it is x square equal to 9y. Now, and the lines y equal to 4 and y equal to 9 in the first quadrant. Y equal to 4 would be this line. Y equal to 9 would be, I think I did this sum. Y equal to 9 would also be here, and they want it in the first quadrant itself. So this would be x square equal to 9y. So therefore, area First of all, you need the area between the curve and the y-axis. Area between the curve and the y-axis. So we'll write here dy, because you need the area between the curve and the y-axis, and these are the two lines, y equal to 4 and y equal to 9. You need it only in the first quadrant, so you need not multiply it with any number. Then this is x dy. Now x square is 9y, so that means x would be 3 root y dy. Remember, the answers are all given behind. The final answer is given behind, so you can always verify it and bring any discrepancy to my notice. This is y raised to half, so it would be y raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. This is 4, this is 9, goes up, this becomes 2. This is 9 raised to 3 by 2 minus 4 raised to 3 by 2. This is 3 square. So this would be 3 square raised to 3 by 2 minus 2 square raised to 3 by 2. This and this gets cancelled. This would be 27 minus 8, which is 19 into 2, 38 square units would be the answer. When they ask you such questions, x square plus y square equal to 16, you can directly find it without using the figure or definite integration. See, area of the circle they have asked you, and we know area of the circle is pi r square. X square plus y square equal to 4 square. That is where radius is 4. Now, area of the circle is pi r square. So it is pi into 4 square. It is 16 pi square units. Followed? Next, you need not even find it by definite integration method. Y square equal to 4x. So y square, that means symmetrical on the x axis. Y square equal to 4x, x equal to 1, x equal to 4, and the first and the lines this. So this is the area, the x axis and this. If they say x axis and this, you have to stop here. If they don't say x axis, you'll have to find double the area. So your area would be equal to, first write dx over here, because it is between the curve and the x axis. Then write y over here, and it is between x equal to 1 and x equal to 4. Now y square is 4x, that means this is 2 root x. So this would be 2 into x raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. This goes up, it becomes 4 by 3. This is 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 1 raised to 3 by 2. So this would be 4 by 3. This is 2 square, so 2 cube. Then this is 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7. 28 by 3 is the answer. 28 by 3 square units. I'll stop at the fifth problem. So here, this is the fourth one. Area of region lying in the first quadrant bounded by y equal to 4x square. Now y equal to 4x square means it is symmetrical about the y-axis and it is positive y-axis, y equal to 4x square. Now you need lines of y equal to 2 and y equal to 4, and here it is area in the first quadrant. So this is the area under consideration. Now area would be equal to, first of all, write here dy, because it is between the curve and the y-axis. Then write here x, write here y equal to 2 to y equal to 4. This x is x square is y upon 4, so x is root y upon root 4. So it is half, and this would be 2 to 4 root y dy. Now therefore this would be half. This would be y raised to 3 by 2 upon 3 by 2. 2 and 2 gets cancelled between 2 and 4. So this is 4 raised to 3 by 2 minus 2 raised to 3 by 2. Now this is 2 square raised to 3 by 2 minus 2 root 2. So this gets cancelled. This is 8 minus 2 root 2. Don't write it as 6 root 2. The last question for the day. y square equal to x and the y axis in the first quadrant. And lines are y equal to 3 and y equal to 9. Here, y square equal to x, so symmetrical about y square, so symmetrical about x axis and positive x axis since it is x. Y square equal to x in the first quadrant, y equal to 3 is a line parallel to the, oh sorry, y equal to 3 is a line parallel to the x axis. Okay, and y equal to 9 is also a line parallel to the x axis. You need this particular area, first quadrant. So that means area is, first of all, we'll write here, it is integration of, this is in the y axis. So we'll write dy over here, this is x, then it lies between y equal to 3 and y equal to 9, x is y square. So this would be 3 to 9 and this would be y square dy. This would be y cube by 3 and between 3 and 9. So it is 1 by 3, it is 9 raised to 3 minus 3 raised to 3. 1 by 3, 729 minus 27. So this is 702. When you divide it, you get 323s are 69, 234 square units. This is the answer. With this, I put an end to today's lecture. If you have any doubts, stay back in the conference. Others can leave.
So when we have the activity questions in the paper, we have to write the entire question in the paper.
Yes, you have to.
Okay, sir.
You have to write the entire question and you have to put that in the box.
Okay, sir.
Okay, put those elements in the box which you have found.
So in the fourth question, the answer is given 2 upon 3, 4 minus 2 root 2.
Which one are you speaking about? This one?
Yes, sir.
2 upon?
2 upon 3 into 4 minus root 2.
One sec. This one?
Yes, sir.
One sec. What is the answer given? 2 upon 3?
Into 4 minus root 2.
4 minus root 2.
Yes.
So this would be 8 by 3. First of all, how do you get 3 here? This is x dy. What is the question? Y equal to 4x square. So x square. So symmetrical about y axis. So this is correct. Now y equal to 2 and y equal to 4 in the first quadrant bounded by these two lines. First quadrant. So that means it is this region. So it is dy. It is x 2 and y. Now
Sir, you made mistake in the 3 upon 2.
this one.
Yes.
Now y raised to half, na?
So upon 3 will be there.
So
Na?
upon 3 would be there. Right. So this would be 1 by 3 into 8 minus 2 root 2. And therefore, yeah, I missed out this 3. My 3. So this is 2 by 3. Then it was my 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So have you followed it?
Yes. So even in the second one, it is given 25 pi square units.
Which one are you speaking about?
Fill in the blank second one.
X square plus y square equal to 16, you mean to say?
Yes, sir.
That
That
should
is
be,
wrong.
that is,
It is given 25.
how can it be 25? It is pi into 4 square.
Yes, so it is wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It should be 16 pi.
And for the seventh, fill in the true or false, answer is not given.
Answer is not given there.
No.
Okay. And for the remaining ones, they have given the answers?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it should be minus itself. Even they would have got confused after writing the question. Okay. So, in fact, it is given. It is. See, this is question number. Question number 3 of miscellaneous, the second part. It is same as that. Question number 3 of miscellaneous, the second part. Okay, it should have been a to b f of x dx minus a to b. It should be minus a to b. g of x. So it is given in the textbook. Followed?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. If anyone has a doubt, you can stay back in the conference, others can leave.